5 things a man requires when he is taking you seriously. Now, some of you are thinking, are they different? What is the difference? 5 things, more than 5 things. When a man is taking you seriously, there's a way that he behaves and the way that he moves. And when a man is not taking you seriously, there's a way that he behaves and the way that he moves, and there's certain different types of priorities. Now, in this video, you're going to learn exactly what a man who is taking you seriously is prioritizing, looking for, and actually really truly values when you show up in that way, and versus the man who is not taking you seriously, the things he does not want to see, that when you show up in those ways, he's going to pull away, he's going to run away, he's not going to be interested. If you want to know more, stick around till the end, because I am going to be sharing these 5 things with you very soon. My name is Chengi. I am your dating and relationship expert here at the Black Swan Relationship Academy, where we teach you ladies how to present as a high value, high status, and high worth woman that quality men find completely irresistible. Can I get an amen? Amen. Okie dokie. So moving forward with today's topic, one of the things that a man who is taking you seriously is going to want is a sense of genuine desire. One of the things we don't get to be taught or told a lot as women is that men have a deep, deep secret. Their biggest desire in relationships, in fact, above all else, is to find a woman who loves them for who they are. We know that we love the masculine for what he does. The masculine man wants to be loved for what he does. But even him, deep down inside, wants to believe that if he was not able to do all of these things, this woman would be with him. And so there is a little subconscious protocol that runs in a man's brain, and he wants to know if you have genuine desire for him, not just his things, but him. And unfortunately or fortunately, as the case may be, he will only interpret that desire by precisely how much you physically desire him, how much sexual attraction you have towards him. Many men who don't know better have been taught that if a woman has a sexual desire towards you, she likely chooses you for who you are. And can we be honest, ladies? Whenever a man turns our little feminine bodies on, we all of a sudden develop very strong feelings. And it's these feelings that he counts on for your loyalty, for his ability to be in a controlling role in the relationship, to lead the relationship. And so when a man of quality and status and worth is looking for a partner, he is looking for a burning desire in her, a genuine, innate desire in her for him. But of course, a man who wants to play with you, a man who isn't here to stay, but to play, doesn't really care if your desire is genuine. He doesn't really care if there is this transaction where he takes you on dates or gives you money and you lay down for him. He's not really bothered by that, because he's not a man that is actually taking you seriously. He just doesn't want to have to pay a prostitute or paid escort. He'd rather just pay a normal girl. And so for him, it's very transactional. He doesn't actually need you to have a genuine desire for him. And that is why if you were to show genuine desire, he's probably gonna twiddle away, because he does not want the responsibility of having to caretake for those desires. The House of Swans is the new portal for the Black Swan Relationship Academy. The House of Swans is where you will be able to completely access me and those of you who are serious, focused, and committed to your Black Swan journey. In the House of Swans, you will get access to many of the courses in the academy depending on your subscription level, but most importantly, you will get the exclusive courses I am creating only for the women in the House of Swans. So far, we've been talking about the power dynamics between men and women, sharing things that I will never share on public platforms, giving you insight so you understand how power flows between the masculine and the feminine. I'm also sharing about how to be completely and totally unforgettable in the bedroom, how to get a man to be completely and absolutely generous with you. And all you have to do to be a part of this elite society is to click the link in bio. And if you're watching this on Instagram, comment the word swans and a link will be sent to you. Love you lots. Man that wants to be serious with you is going to look to see if you have any respect for him. He's going to be acutely aware whether you have respect or not, whether you speak to him with respect or not, whether you move around him with respect or not. If he notices that you don't actually have a genuine and sincere respect for him, regardless of whether he shows up as a high value man or a low value man, then you just don't have respect for men in general, and you don't seem to notice his prowess and his strength and his provision and his cherishing of you, he will not take you seriously and he will move on. A man that just wants to get laid doesn't really care at all if you respect him or not. In fact, the less respect you offer him, the better. It's just easier for him to play his game and not get a prick in his conscience. Number 3. A man who is wanting to take you seriously is looking for that feminine reciprocity. Reciprocity. I can never say that word. He's looking to see if you would, in your feminine energy, give back to him in appreciation. He wants to know if you appreciate him, if you validating him, if you are present and warm and kind and you are giving back to him in appreciation for everything that he does for you. He doesn't want you to pay for dates too. Some men may ask that of you because they are dealing with a lot of insecurity, but a man that is secure in his masculine energy doesn't need a woman to go into her purse or start to bankrupt herself or worry about how she's going to cherish him and take care of him. He's not actually looking for this from a partner if it's in his masculine energy, but he is looking for that abundance and generosity of appreciation, that generosity of acknowledgement, validation, praise. He is looking for that reciprocity, which is something that men in their masculine who are doing the right thing are looking for. A man who's here to play masculine or feminine, and once a man is in a relationship to play, he will manifest more feminine because he's actually just indulging his emotional, more feeling side. When he is here to play, he doesn't actually want anything from you, but he wants his money back. He wants his resources back. He would rather you reciprocate it by paying for a date too, or buying him gifts too, or taking him somewhere too, because he really just hates the idea of coming to the end of a relationship with a woman where he has been investing financially and his bank account is low and he's tired of the sex. And so he's going to want more of that 50-50 tangible, if I give you, you give me kind of reciprocity. The next one is emotional investment. When a man is taking you seriously, he wants to know that you are emotionally invested. He wants to know that you actually are developing feelings for him, that you are actually bonding with him, connecting with him, that it's actually genuine and actually real. He's going to look to see if you are falling for him, if you are developing feelings for him. And so if you're guarded and you're armored and he cannot read you, he cannot read your affections growing for him, then he's going to let that one go, because he needs to make sure that he can secure you emotionally, because he knows if he secures you emotionally, he's going to be able to secure you long term, and also he's going to be able to satisfy you in a relationship, something the masculine needs to feel about his woman, that he's able to satisfy her and make her happy. A man who does not want to be serious with you really would like as little emotional investment from you as possible. What he's really looking for is sexual investment. The more sex, the less emotion, the better for him. And so when you start expressing your emotions to a man that is not serious about you, the first thing he's going to do is bail. He's going to create distance in the hope that you will get the message that he does not want anything serious with you. Last but certainly not least, but very obvious to some and not so much to others, A man who is here to stay is going to be very proficient and timely in offering exclusivity. Once he sees that you are the type of woman that a man keeps and not throws away, a man stays with and not just plays with, he will begin to want to keep you to himself. His desire, that masculine desire to conquer, it becomes very strong, and all of a sudden he becomes competitive. He doesn't want anybody else to have you. He begins to want to keep you to himself. If he does not ask you for exclusivity right away, which is probably going to be a bit of a red flag, if he does it straight away. But if he doesn't ask you for exclusivity within the first 3 months, he will ask for every spare moment of your week. He will start taking you out on dates 3-4 times a week. He wants you so busy and so preoccupied with him that you don't have time to entertain any other suitors. He will take up more of your time by availing more of his time. And when it's time and it seems reasonable, he will absolutely ask you to be exclusive with him and get into a relationship. A man that does not want to stay is going to avoid seeing you as much as possible. He's gonna have you on this intermittent reward system where he will see you when he's in the mood for a little bit of vanilla, when he's in a little bit of a mood for caramel, a little bit of a mood for chocolate, and a little bit of a plump and a little bit of thin. When he's in that mood, he will show up. He's definitely going to hop, skip, and jump and dance around the idea of exclusivity. He will not behave like he wants to see you, and when he does, it's gonna be just for a few minutes, or pop over to your house, or there won't be any real time investment. And of course, and that's just how it looks. Now, let us be clear. If we have been spending a lot of our dating life dating men who are low value, if we run into a whole bunch of low value men, stick around, try to convince them to like us, try to get exclusivity out of this other guy, try to love this other guy, give our heart to him, and we get abused and misused, we come to learn little bad habits. We learn to be emotionally unavailable. We learn to be avoidant. We learn to push away. We learn to be guarded, because that's the energy that gets that player, time waster, loser to like you. But when we have been practicing in the wrong court and in the wrong sport, when we eventually come to game day, we will find ourselves completely unable to function with a high quality man. I had a client once who had been playing a really bad game. She actually had a coach, and the coach had taught her all the bad habits, all the things to do when you're dating a loser, all the things to do when you're dating a player, all the little games, all the holding your cards, and all the little game. That when she eventually met a man who wanted to marry her, a successful man, a man who had the world to offer her, a man who spoiled her, a man who gave her the world, she was using those principles to deal with this man. I said to her, darling, if you do not show up vulnerably and let him see that you like him, he is going to walk away. Every single time he would ask, do you even like me? He would ask her, if I were to ask you to marry me, would you even marry me? He was trying to let her know that this cold, stone cold exterior that she had was just not working. I warned her 3 times. Darling, when he asks you again, please be vulnerable and tell him what you actually feel, because this man is looking for a wife and you are this beautiful woman who seems to be behind a wall. And she said to me, Chengi, I just can't seem to drop the habits of the other relationship. Well, 3rd time, we have another session. We go into it. We do the work. He asks her, I don't feel like you're here with me. If I were to marry you, what would you marry me? And she froze, because she had been playing the wrong game in the wrong court for such a long time that by the time he asked the 3rd time, the 4th time, he was on a dating app. He had moved on and he was no longer interested. This is not the first person, client who has had this happen to them. When we don't know how to play the game in a high value way, when we don't practice in the right court with the right game, and we don't eliminate the wrong players who've come from the wrong court with the wrong game, and we entertain foolishness perpetually and refuse to upgrade our thinking and our practices, we will find ourselves hemorrhaging on husband material. I say to the girls in the House of Swans and in my community all the time, ladies, we will play how we practice. Be careful how you practice. Never take your practice time for granted. So many women come to me when they have hemorrhaged a good relationship. So many women come to me when their relationships are falling apart. And every single time I say to you ladies, whether you are dating or not, you need to come to practice. You need to join the House of Swans, where you will learn to practice high value thinking, high value performance, so that when a man who is ready, who is king, who is worthy of your heart and ready to put a ring on it, you are so ready to show up as the high value black swan that I know you are. I hope I will see you soon. In the meantime, do take care. Love you. Bye-bye. If you've been listening to this broadcast, you feel that you identify with anything that I have said, I want you to know that we're not leaving you on your own. Actually, I have created a complimentary initial call with my coaches. You will be able from today onwards to call one of the coaches and have a conversation about the particular issue that is bothering you. This call is completely free. No obligation. It is our ministry and our service to you to make sure that we get to touch base with you, understand what's going on with you, and actually give you a moment to speak with a professional, maybe even for the first time in your life. But I don't know how long I'll be able to offer this to you, my darling swan. But whilst it is here and you're watching this video, please find the link below, or if you're on Instagram, comment help. Take care of you.